All right, let's talk about karma, but maybe not in the way you're used to thinking about it. Forget the idea of some kind of inescapable fate. We're going to look at it as a real practical tool, something you can use to start designing the future you actually want. So, let me ask you something. I want you to think about your life for a second, like it's a garden. Are there, weeds popping up? I'm talking about those frustrating situations, right? The tough relationships, or maybe just that nagging feeling that something's off. We've all got them. But what if I told you that you have way more control over that garden than you think? So here's the main idea, and it's a big one. Everything in your garden right now, the good stuff, the flowers, and yeah, those stubborn weeds too, it's all a direct result of seeds you planted in the past. And that is the real heart of karma. It's not about being punished or blamed for anything. Not at all. It's just a simple law of cause and effect. What you're experiencing today, that's just the harvest from seeds you've already sown, whether you knew you were doing it or not. Okay, and this is where things get really exciting. The second you can just take a breath and accept, all right, these are the results of seeds I planted, man, the whole game changes. You go from feeling like a victim of your circumstances to realizing, wait a minute, I'm the one holding all the power here. Because think about it, if you were the cause, that means you have total freedom to change the effect. You can start planting completely new seeds, like right this second. Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we start planting a better garden? Well, that brings us to our first big tool. It's this idea of accumulating virtue. And don't worry, this isn't about trying to be some kind of saint. It's really just about the conscious and honestly kind of joyful act of sowing good seeds. So what does that even mean, accumulating virtue? It's really simple. It just means you're intentionally sowing good seeds, but without expecting anything in return, at least not right away. A great way to think about it is like you're prepaying good energy into the universe. You're making all these little consistent deposits of kindness, and trust me, they really do grow over time. And listen, this isn't about making huge, grand gestures. Not at all. It's the small stuff. I mean, look at these examples. It could be something as simple as straightening up a messy pile of shoes when nobody's looking, or genuinely feeling happy for a rival when they succeed. It could even be just quietly thanking your heart for beating instead of complaining about your aches and pains. These are tiny little things you can just sprinkle throughout your day. I absolutely love this analogy. It says each of these little acts is like a high-yield deposit of unconditional love into your very own cosmic bank. How cool is that? They feel so small when you do them, but they compound, they grow. You're literally building up this amazing reserve of positive energy, and it's all for you. So you might be wondering, what's the ROI on these deposits? What's the return on investment? Well, it's 100%, guaranteed. Every single bit of that positive energy comes back to you. Now, it might not be tomorrow, and it probably won't be in the way you're expecting, but it will return. Maybe it shows up as a surprise opportunity, or just the right person showing up with a helping hand exactly when you need it most. All right, so that's how we plant new seeds for the future we want. But what do we do about the weeds that are already there, right? The ones causing problems now. Well, that brings us to our second tool, how to erase those karmic burdens. And it all comes down to learning how to let go. When we feel totally weighed down by life, it's almost always because we're clinging on to something super tight, an attachment. And you can see the difference so clearly here. On one side, you have the burdened mindset, totally changed down by insisting, no, I have to make them apologize, or it absolutely has to go this way. But look at the other side, the free mindset. It just says, okay, this happened. What can I learn? Or, all right, how can I move forward from here? The moment you release that iron grip, that need to control, poof, the karmic weight just kind of dissolves, and you're free again to take the next step. And all of this, it all leads to this final, and I think most empowering realization. When you start combining these two things, actively planting good seeds and consciously letting go of the old stuff, you step into a totally new role. You're not just a visitor in the garden anymore. You become its head gardener. And this is the real reason to understand karma. It has nothing to do with feeling guilty or dwelling on the past. The whole point is to wake you up to the incredible, infinite freedom that you have in this very moment to create whatever future you want. The power was never out there somewhere. It's been in your hands the entire time. So here's your path. It's a simple 3-step process to becoming that head gardener. First, you accept. Just look at your current reality and see it for what it is, the result of old seeds. No blame, no judgment. Second, you release. You look at those old weeds, you thank them for whatever lesson they taught you, and then you let them go. And finally, the best part, you plant. You get to joyfully and consciously pick out the new seeds for the future you really, truly want. So I'll just leave you with this thought. You are 100% the head gardener of your own life. So, starting right now, what flowers do you actually want to see bloom in that garden of yours? What seeds are you going to plant today?